when we kind of switched when we stopped selling vinyl. You know, you went to CDs, and then the cassettes went away. And then you used to have those long boxes that held the CDs, you know, so you could still put them in the stores. And then that went away, and it was like, oh my God, the album cover's this big, and you know, we got this intricate little thing. It's like, just all those things happen slowly, like one at a time.
What'd you have, the first incarnation after all those CDs and whatever was the MySpace thing? And you know, there was a lot of people putting stuff up on there.
It's a business model. Okay, this is what you do now to further your sales and get your record like this. Okay, let's take a look at that, see what it can do for us. But I never felt any pressure to, we have to be more a part of this, or we have to do this a little bit more. If anything, I held on to, why can't we still put vinyl out? You know, hold on to that more so than embracing the new stuff.
It's kind of weird, right? I'm still a guy who buys CDs still to this day. I want the physical thing. I don't care about the download and the little icon that's on your iPod, which I still use, you know what I mean? I still use all that stuff. So I still want the real thing, and I want to be able to put it in my car, put it in whatever. I don't want an MP3 because it's a inferior, it doesn't sound as good. I mean, it was hard enough to switch over really from the records to the CDs anyway. And then when you finally got used to the CDs and had a decent player, it was like, yeah, I'm going to buy this anyway. But you're right. I mean, this stuff was always available online. People are always using these, what do they call them, torrents or whatever, to download and take this music and whatever. And I think everybody has listened to something illegally or did something that way. The only difference with me is that if I liked it, I would use it more as a sampler, and not even the torrents, just the sites where people were playing other people's shit on. It'd be like, oh, I like this, and I'd go buy it. You know what I mean?
People never think of it this way. The internet was infantile at that time too. It wasn't just instantaneous file sharing. You couldn't just get great shit over the internet. I mean, it wasn't for Verizon Fios and like it is in 2018. It was a way to communicate. It was a way to present yourself. It was a way to promote yourself. And I think as it gradually progressed, and even though we were still progressing at that time, we were kind of connecting with it some way. And I don't think we were the kind of people that said, oh, fuck this, we're getting fucked. It was kind of like, well, we've always gotten fucked. How can we get less fucked? And how can we use this to our advantage? So it depends how you look at the situation. I'm not going to say we embraced it wholeheartedly, but you couldn't fucking ignore it. If you did, you're left behind. I mean, I'll tell you something. I don't even have the Facebook or the Twitter. I don't have it personally. I just don't want it. Now, we have Facebook and Twitter for the band. I mean, obviously you have to, so that you can reach people out there. So I know it's a very simple comparison or explanation, but we progressed as it progressed. So it was never anything that shocked us or made us say, oh my God, what are we going to do? I mean, I loved it. I was like, oh my God, I got porn right in my house. Can you believe this shit? It's going to destroy the music industry. Who cares?
Coming from an old school guy, living through the period of, you know, going to the clubs, and, you know, the only way you could get things is to be in tune with other people. It's like there wasn't this really gigantic resource out there that you could just go to and, you know, go on the internet or whatever it was. So I think that the genuineness of that is what I still kind of hold. You know what I'm saying? I still value that, is because nothing beats hard work. You know what I'm saying? Nothing really beats hard work. Is, you know, it sucks staying out at a club with a shitty band, handing out flyers, talking to people, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But the end result is if you could do it that enough time, get liked, you would have people come to your club. That's something tangible.
I used to go down Central Avenue in Albany with my van, my piece of shit van, freezing in the winter, and everything along Central Avenue, which is where the clubs used to be when there were clubs, there were these bulletin board things that everybody used to put flyers and stuff up on before Facebook and all that other crap. And I remember, I'd pull up in the van, I'd put the thing in park, I'd jump out, I'd put the flyer up, I'd put the flyer up on the other side, I'd hit the next one, I'd hit the next one, I'd hit the music store, you'd go to the show, you'd go to every local show, and you would go outside between the bands, freezing your ass off. I used to do, I mean, like an idiot, and I'd go out with a beer too. And I'd go out the back door like, can I go out with this? Yeah, you're just gonna fire the cars? Yeah. Walking around like an idiot. putting flyers on a car with a beer, 22 years old, you know, just trying to get people to go to your shows. And that's what you had to do. You had to pound the pavement and sell tickets and flyer. There wasn't social media just to send a thing out to 1,000 people or please share this, you know.
I don't even think that it's, you know, oh, it's less hard, it's less connected. It's just different. I think it's apples and oranges, you know. Even, you know, you hear in sports about, oh, there's, you know, the ball players back then. It's like, you know what? The guys nowadays, it's a different thing, you know, but they're still busting ass, you know. Busting ass
in baseball it's true.
We could put out this record, and immediately, you know, Dave, the record is out, this and that, blah, blah, blah. 20 minutes later, there could be some kid in Pago with a guitar sitting in his room figuring out all of Dave's leads. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. Is that bad? No. It just kind of, there's not a genuineness to this anymore. There's not this hunger or, you know, it's like, you know, watching a YouTube video and all this. And I think that transfers a lot. And I think that has a lot to do about the longevity of bands like us, like Slayer, like Megadeth, and like that type of stuff. Because we didn't come from the YouTube generation of, like, you know, learning how to play guitar by just watching somebody. We learned how to play guitar by putting a Kiss record on and going, yeah, that ain't right. Oh, he did this way. What about if we do this? A lot different.
And I can't say that our struggle is harder than somebody's today because you know, everything is different. There's different circumstances all the way around. So, you know, younger bands or kids that have the balls to do it, good for you, man. I mean, I'm like, fuck. I mean, you gotta jump. And today, just because there's more tools doesn't mean it's easier. Maybe contrary, they have so many more tools, and can be recognized that much easier. But because they can, there's so much more competition out there for them to be recognized that they really have to hone their craft to be something that is recognized by the general public or even a small portion of the general public. Where we could do things in a fandom way because 115 people could see us at that Jersey gig, but 2,000 will have heard about it by the next Friday. And by the time it's 2 Fridays from then, we were fucking Led Zeppelin as far as they were concerned. There were no mistakes. It was some fucking gig. Today, you fuck up, people know in 2 seconds. You know, so it's a different set of circumstances. And, you know, we just happen to come from that fandom age of promotion. And today, it is just honest promotion. I mean, don't go out there and lie or they'll beat you to death with hatred.
For me, and because I'm an old guy, I consume music very much the same way I did 20 years ago. I have the radio station on in my car. I hear a new song by so-and-so. I'm like, who the fuck was that? I'll put a mental memory in my head. Oh yeah, that was that band I heard on the radio. I'll go to Amazon and I'll buy the disc. That's how I get music. There's discs all over my car. I don't have a Spotify account. I don't have any music on my phone. I buy discs. They're everywhere. And so I get it the same way I always did. And that's like Neanderthal now, you know, compared to how people consume and get music. So maybe I'm not the best guy to ask anymore, even though I've been in the band for 40 years.